Shalom, shalom. First off, I give all praises, honor, glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Yahweh be the true name of Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai be the name of His only begotten Son, the way He calls God, and Jesus Christ. One of your double honors to the other apostles, a great millstone, the top of truth and will well. Salutations to you, hope like pushing this truth in all honesty and sincerity. This is Brother Yahweh Sop, giving us the spirit power, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, just currently in transit. Just wanted to kind of do an impromptu lesson. Going into the book of Mark 13:33, it says, Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. Now is the time to be watching what's going on. A lot of people are right now are in the spirit of, if you just ignore what's happening, then it isn't happening. And that's not going to bring you any type of validation or peace or rest, being in that mentality, because the scriptures always say you have to watch the times that we're living in, and the scriptures also say the day of the Lord is coming as a thief in the night. And if you're not watching for the thief and not being diligent and covering your tracks and making sure that you have your security up and your guard up, then what happens? You get robbed. Salaki, because I'm driving right now in the rain, so you can probably hear my windshield wipers need to be replaced, but you can probably hear it in the background. But yeah, man, you can't be in the spirit that just not looking at it, not wanting to see it makes it go away. That's basically the solution to your average American's problems. They feel that as long as you just don't even look for what's happening around you, don't be concerned about the things that's getting ready to happen, or just don't care mindset, then nothing's ever happening. It just doesn't phase them, and it won't affect you somehow. It will affect you. You have to be mentally prepped and ready for what's getting ready to come down the pipeline. Now, you can't change the course of the future, and you can't change prophecy. So some of you that are watching, you can't be so consumed and watching to think that you're going to plan everything out and everything's going to go according to plan of how you deem that you're going to make it. It doesn't work like that either. But the main point of this lesson is the spirit of watching. Watch what's happening in this world, man. Okay? Right now they are coming out and saying that upon emergency authorization, that they will be delivering the vaccine nationwide, and it will be available to all Americans within 24 hours of emergency authorization approval. And right now, the company that made the vaccine, called Pfizer, I might be pronouncing that wrong, but it's spelled like PHSIZR, something weird. They just requested emergency authorization, so that means the vaccine's ready. It's ready to go. Okay, so once the FDA gives approval on this thing, man, hey, this is the beginning of great and terrible, horrible sorrows. All right, it's gonna start, and it's gonna be in the spirit of a lot of voluntary things that's coming down the pipeline. They're gonna make it available to you, but it's going to be more so of in the spirit of and you can voluntarily get this. It's going to be a lot of propaganda with this vaccine. It's going to be a lot of peer pressure and pushing people to get it. You're going to have a lot of family members saying, "Oh, you're not taking this vaccine? Oh, why not?" It's going to be a lot of that, man. And those of you that are in the know of what's really going on and what's really coming down the pipeline, not to take that damn thing. So once it transitions from that voluntary stage and that peer pressure stage, it will transition to that mandatory stage. And then they're going to start coming out with different restrictions. Right now they're already saying that they're going to cut federal assistance, such as things like food stamp and housing assistance, with your rent get paid and things like that. That's going to be cut unless you take that vaccine. A lot of people are dependent on that. A lot of people depend on that, but as a vast majority, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And speaking of which, tell me why Biden has a task force specifically dedicated to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and no other race that's in America. This is supposed to be the great melting pot, right? You got all these ethnicities and people here. Why does he have a task force specific to blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians? Ask yourself that. It's because we've been warning you people, been telling you people that those are the people that are Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Those are the two children of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And it's always been a warfare between Esau and those people. Esau is the vast majority, predominantly is the so-called white man. All right, and he really wants to eradicate the Israelites. He wants to take them out. And if he can't take them out, what he really wants to do is keep them under slavery. Because this empire has profited the most, more than any other empire on the face of this planet, by having those people in subjection and keeping them ignorant of who they are from being the real rulers. There's so many things that to keep the knowledge away from you, so they can continue to benefit off of your slavery, which you still are in slavery. And with us being in the spirit right now of what's happening, it's a very close parallel to ancient Egypt when the Israelites were in slavery to Egypt. There's a reason why Pharaoh didn't want to let the Lord's people go. For one thing, the Lord hardened his heart to where he was not going to be able to do it if he wanted to. But secondly, off the pleasures of the world and the benefits. Ancient Egypt was vast, man. It was beautiful. It was I don't even know what to call it beautiful, but I mean it was great. But all the technological advancements and the architecture, all that stuff was built by God's chosen people. And that's what happens when you have them underneath your control. When you can puppetize those people, if that's even a word, you're rich, man. And you're living large, lavishly. The Rothschilds, the elites, they're multiple billion, trillionaires upon trillionaires off of that money, off the riches and gold from the world, from having those individuals in slavery. But the Lord said once his people cry out for deliverance and start waking up to who they are, he's going to come and save them. So it's going to be another Exodus. But this Exodus is going to be way more glorious than the first one. It's going to surpass, the splitting of the Red Sea and all that. Hey, that's going to look like nothing compared to when this Lord comes back. But the act of him coming back is something that you have to watch for. And leading up to that is going to be great horrors upon the earth, great signs upon the earth. And you have to know how to be able to navigate through those times. You have to have the answers. You have to have the name of the Lord. You have to know what the mark of the beast is, how to avoid it. Because you take the mark, you don't have the name, then you don't get salvation, and you're going to be put to death. And you won't have the angels on your side to speak to you, to tell you when it's time to go, when it's time to move to another location. You won't have any miracles that happen to protect you, to be in your favor. All these things will happen to you as a result of you not watching. And you're not getting into knowledge and get understanding of the scriptures. That's why I wanted to really harp on this precept, Mark 13 and 33. Take ye heed, watch and pray. You got to pray too, man. For ye know not when the time is. You don't know when the time is, because it means at any given time, this place can be crumbling down. This place is finished. There is no coming back. There will be no returning to normal. And if it does, if there is a sense of things are going to return to normal for a short period of time, it's going to be just that. It's going to return to normal for a very, very short period of time, and it's only going to be quote unquote normal for individuals that are Salakia, got a little distracted, that are taking the chip and they're becoming 100% slaves to society. For them, it'll be somewhat normal for a very, very extremely short period of time, because those people are going to be deceived. They're thinking that they're going to be okay by agreeing to what the elites or whatever laws are being pushed out. But what they're going to come to find out is they can get that chip. They'll get the vaccine. And when the total economy still collapses, even when the chip is out, hey, your chip won't have any credit on it. No money on it. Because that's what all currency's going to. So they can't buy anything anymore. And then on top of that, the virus that they'll be putting inside of you with the vaccine will be activated. Hey, and their agenda with the Georgia Guidestone of reduce the population of 500 million will become activated. Millions will be dying, falling out from disease. And that will come as a consequence, all because what? You didn't take heed, you didn't watch, you didn't pray. Because you didn't want to pay attention to what time it was, you know? So, Lord willing, this lesson's edifying. This is a quick in transit. Just getting ready to start camp. So I'm going to go ahead and close out. Give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem HaKakadash. Double honesty, those of the apostles, great millstone, time is truth and will well. And sorry, takes you hopefully that person is truth and all honesty and sincerity. Shalom, ba ba ba.